Hello and welcome to another Mr. Carter Science Special. In this video we'll be looking at how plants are adapted to low water environments, very dry environments. Before we get on to the adaptations of various plants and the different adaptations they have, it's important that we recap what transpiration is. Transpiration is the rate of water loss by evaporation through the stomata from the leaves of a plant. Outside the leaves there will be a low concentration of water vapour, so water diffuses out of the leaves through the stomata, and this will lower the concentration within the air spaces in the leaf, so water evaporates from mesophyll cells into those air spaces, and this in turn pulls water up from the xylem tissues and the roots. This constant movement of water molecules through the xylem from the roots to the leaves is known as a transpiration stream. Now this is how water is moved into the leaves so that the water can be used in photosynthesis. But unfortunately about 90% of that water that is moved up through the plant to the leaves is lost through the stomata in transpiration. Now for most plants this isn't a big deal. They have plenty of water available and they know it's going to rain within a limited period of time. However, with some plants this can be a major issue, and many plants in fact have adaptations to try and prevent excessive water loss. For example, most leaves have a waxy cuticle, and this will prevent water loss from the upper and the lower epidermis of a leaf. In hot environments, a plant's waxy cuticle will be very thick and shiny. We have stomata found only on the lower side of a leaf, and this reduces water loss from the leaf. And many plants that live in low water environments will actually have extra special adaptations to prevent water loss. However, if a plant is losing water faster than it's replaced by the roots, the plant can do several things, including wilting, and you can see a plant here that is wilting. Plants need water to remain turgid and keep the leaf rigid, so the leaf is sticking out rigidly. When the leaf loses water, the cells are no longer turgid and the leaf will collapse and hang down. This will actually create a smaller surface area, which means there will be less water loss. So wilting is an adaptation to try and prevent water loss. Another adaptation is that the plant will close the stomata, even during the day. This stops photosynthesis and it risks the leaf overheating and enzymes denaturing. However, it does stop further water loss and continued wilting. However, this isn't enough for some plants. Some plants live in environments which are extremely water poor. They do not have a lot of water. One example of that is marram grass. Marram grass live on sand dunes in the north of Europe and in North America, and the sand of sand dunes is extremely poor at holding on to and retaining water and moisture. So marram grass need to be well adapted in order to be able to grow in this extremely dry environment. So how are marram grass adapted? Well, marram grass have fewer stomata, so there is less water lost. Marram grass have leaves which have a very small surface area, and this reduces the area over which water can be lost by evaporation. In fact, those leaves are actually curled and have hairs within the curls. So instead of it being a large flat leaf, that leaf actually curls around like this. And you can see that in the diagram here. And that means the stomata, which are all on the underside of the leaf, and are releasing water into this area, it creates an area of trapped moist air close to the stomata, and this creates a much smaller diffusion gradient, and so it slows down the evaporation of water from the leaf, from the air spaces within the leaf, into this pocket of air trapped by the curled leaf. Marram grass on their upper epidermis also have a very thick waxy cuticle, again to stop the evaporation of water. So marram grass are an absolutely amazing species, and they are often the first species to colonize a particular area or a new area of beach or sand dune, and they are often the first species within the succession of sort of colonizing new areas. But a more classic example of a plant that lives in a very dry area without much water is the cactus. And cactuses have a waxy cuticle that reduces water loss. That's one of their adaptations. Their leaves are narrow spines with very few stomata, again to reduce water loss and protect them from predators. Roots of a cactus can either be very, very deep to help them find groundwater buried many, many meters below the desert surface, or they can be very shallow and widespread to catch any rain and any surface water, any moisture from sort of condensation or fog that may be around. And most cactuses have a fleshy stem which allows water to be stored and helps to prevent dehydration. I hope you've enjoyed this short video on plant adaptations. If you have, let me know what you've learned in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much for your time.